Nothing spices up a baseball game like an ejection. When a player or manager loses it and gets tossed, it's instant chaos. Plus, it's kinda entertaining. Today, we're counting down the most insane MLB ejections of all time. Let's start with one of the weirdest ejections in recent times. In September 2024, Houston Astros second baseman Jose Altuve faced the San Diego Padres in a 3-3 tie. In the ninth inning, with 2 outs and a runner on second, Altuve hit a 1-1 sinker he swore came off his left foot. Umpire Brennan Miller called it fair, ruling it a groundout to third and ending the inning. Altuve was furious, he argued, and his manager Joe Espada backed him up. When the call didn't change, Altuve sat down, ripped off his left cleat and sock, limped to Miller, and pointed at his bare foot to show the mark. Miller ejected him instantly, and Espada got tossed too. Replays confirmed the ball hit Altuve's shoe, but the non-reviewable call stood. In August 2023, Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson, in a game against the Cleveland Guardians, got into a heated argument in the 4th inning with Guardians third baseman Jose Ramirez after a tag play at second. As Ramirez touched the bag, hands first, he slid through the legs of Anderson in front of second base umpire Malachi Moore. Ramirez held out a hand as if Anderson might help him up. Things escalated quickly and Anderson squared up, throwing punches in a full-on brawl as teammates and coaches arrived on the scene. Ramirez knocked Anderson to the ground with a right hand. Anderson, Ramirez, and several others, including both managers, Cleveland's Terry Francona and Chicago's Pedro Grifol, were ejected. Anderson received a 6-game suspension. San Diego Padres third baseman Manny Machado took things further in a June 2024 game against the New York Mets. In the 6th inning, trailing 7-2, Machado faced Adrian Hauser and struck out on a full-count sinker that seemed low. Home plate umpire Adam Beck called it a strike. Machado slammed his bat, arguing fiercely against the decision. During the dispute, he bumped umpire Beck, who ejected him immediately. Manager Mike Schilt, while defending Machado, got tossed too. Machado received a 1-game suspension. With 12 career ejections, Machado is no rookie at being tossed. In July 2017, Texas Rangers baseman Adrian Beltre gave us a moment nobody saw coming. With bases loaded, Beltre took practice swings outside the on-deck circle when second base umpire Jerry Davis told him to get in the circle. Beltre, with a smile on his face, grabbed the on-deck circle mat and dragged it to where he was standing. Davis wasn't having it, he tossed him immediately. Toronto Blue Jays outfielder George Springer in August 2024 faced the Los Angeles Angels. In the 7th inning, Springer batted against Angels pitcher Mike Baumann. On a 1-2 count, a pitch came close to Springer's right foot, but home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez called it a strike, ruling it didn't hit him. Springer argued the ball hit his foot, and the Blue Jays challenged the call. Replay official Adrian Johnson upheld the strike, as video angles couldn't confirm contact. Furious, Springer yelled at Gonzalez and crew chief Lance Barksdale, threw his helmet, and charged toward Gonzalez, requiring restraint by his manager. Umpire Gonzalez ejected him. Moving on to the now infamous Pine Tar incident. In July 1983, Kansas City Royals third baseman George Brett faced the New York Yankees. In the 9th inning, Brett hit a 2-run homer off Goose Gossage, putting the Royals up 5-4. Yankees manager Billy Martin argued that Brett's bat had excessive pine tar and requested that his bat be measured. The umpires measured it, ruled it illegal, and called Brett out, negating the homer. Brett charged out, screaming, and got ejected after being restrained by teammates. Thankfully, he didn't hit the umpire. Next, we've got a rejection that's pure drama. New York Yankees third baseman Jazz Chisum Jr. in April 2025 was ejected in the 7th inning by home plate umpire John Bacon when Chisum struck out on a full-count pitch from Mason Montgomery that looked low. He argued with umpire John Bacon, who ejected him for his 5th career ejection and first as a Yankee. Chisum then grabbed his phone and posted on X, "Not even close." With a profanity, before deleting it. Major League Baseball regulations ban the use of electronic devices during games. The policy prohibits displaying or transmitting content that questions the impartiality of or otherwise denigrates a major league umpire. Chisum got a 1-game suspension and a fine. In June 2001, at PNC Park, the Pirates faced the Milwaukee Brewers. In the 12th inning, with the game tied, Lloyd McClendon became upset over a close play at first base that didn't go his team's way. McClendon came out to argue, and first base umpire Rick Reed called him out, but McClendon, already frustrated by earlier calls, stormed out and tossed his cap, before having a few words for the umpire. But McClendon wasn't done. He walked to first base, yanked it out of the ground, and carried it back to the dugout, refusing to return it. The Pirates lost, but McClendon's stunt became iconic. Replays showed that the call was indeed questionable. Toronto Blue Jays starting pitcher Kevin Gausman in April 2025 had a brutal outing against the New York Yankees. In the 3rd inning, he threw 53 pitches, gave up 6 runs, walked 5, and got just 2 outs. When he got pulled, the frustrated pitcher yelled at home plate umpire Chris Conroy about the strike zone and got ejected. In the dugout, Gausman was so focused on shouting that he slipped and stumbled down the steps, nearly injuring himself. Later, manager John Schneider got tossed in for arguing a strike call. Bryce Harper is no stranger to ejections. He's currently got 21 in his career, more than any active player. But one of his wildest came in September 2023 in the 3rd batter in the game against the Colorado Rockies. Harper got upset over a called strike 2 that he felt was down and in. Harper struck out on a 0-2 curveball, dropped his bat, and began arguing with the umpire, who immediately ejected him from the game. On his way out, he took off his fanatic green batting gloves and threw his helmet. Manager Rob Thompson argued to no avail. New York Mets closer Edwin Diaz was set to pitch against the Chicago Cubs in June 2023. But just before throwing a pitch, crew chief Vic Carapazza inspected his glove in hand, found an extremely sticky and discolored substance, and ejected him. Carapazza, who'd checked thousands of pitchers, said it wasn't rosin or sweat. Diaz, visibly upset, walked off. MLB suspended him for 10 games the next day, starting with the subway. This ejection is crazy because sticky substance checks are rare, and ejecting a star closer before he throws a pitch is like getting kicked out of a party before it even starts. Let's turn our attention to the historic ejection of Baltimore Orioles manager Earl Weaver in September 1980 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Weaver argued that a tarp in the Blue Jays bullpen, weighted with bricks, was a safety hazard for his left fielder. When umpires refused to remove it, Weaver pulled his team off the field, leading to a forfeit, the only one in Orioles history. Home plate umpire Marty Springstead ejected Weaver, one of his 96 career ejections. The Blue Jays won by forfeit, but Weaver's protest was unforgettable. Next, we've got a fresh 2025 ejection with serious tension. Most recently, St. Louis Cardinals manager Oliver Marmal. In the 8th inning, during the game against Cincinnati Reds, argued a strike 1 call from home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman. Dreckman warned Marmal 5 times to stop before ejecting him. Marmal's persistence turned it into a spectacle, with the dugout erupting. The Cardinals lost, and clips of Marmal's heated exchange showed Dreckman's patience before he was finally forced to boot Marmal out. Let's head back to a classic from the 1990s, with Cincinnati Reds' Lou Pineella against the Chicago Cubs. In the 5th inning, Reds batter Barry Larkin was called out at second base on a close play. Pineella, known for his temper, charged out, arguing that the call was wrong. Home plate umpire Dutch Rennert ejected him, but Pineella went wild, uprooting second base and hurling it into the outfield. He chased it down and threw it again. The Reds lost 6-2, but Piniella's outburst, one of his 65 career ejections, became legendary. Bleacher Report ranked it among the greatest managerial ejections. In March 2025, Milwaukee Brewers associate manager Ricky Weeks faced the Kansas City Royals. With the Royals leading 5-0, Royals batter Hunter Renfroe took a 0-2 slider from Elvis Peguero for a called ball. Turns out, home plate umpire Brennan Miller's call was correct, but Weeks kept arguing from the dugout after a warning, leading to his ejection. It was the first ejection of the 2025 season, Weeks' first since 2010, and Milwaukee's first of the season. New York Yankees manager Aaron Boone got ejected in April 2025 in a 4-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Outfielder Aaron Judge hit a 3-2 pitch from reliever Eric Orrs that looked like a home run. The umpiring staff, including umpires Adam Beck and Scott Berry, called it foul, and a review found no conclusive evidence to overturn it. A pitch later, Judge was called out on a strike, and Boone stormed out, arguing to protect Judge and to voice his displeasure with the afternoon's umpiring. He got ejected for his 40th career toss. The 2024 ejection of St. Louis Cardinals DH Matt Carpenter against the San Francisco Giants makes it to our list. In September 2024, in the 9th inning with the Cardinals leading, Carpenter took a 0-2 fastball from Austin Warren for a called third strike. Carpenter argued the call, and the home plate umpire tossed Carpenter for arguing the call. It was Carpenter's first ejection since 2021. New York Mets manager Carlos Mendoza's September 2024 ejection against the Milwaukee Brewers is next on our list. In the 4th inning, trailing 5-2, Mets batter Francisco Alvarez took a 3-2 slider from Frankie Montas for a called third strike. Home plate umpire Ramon de Jesus ejected Mendoza for arguing the call. It was Mendoza's second ejection of 2024 and the Mets' 7th, leading the NL East. Clips showed Mendoza's frustration as the strike zone was tight. The Brewers won 8-4, but Mendoza's ejection in a key late-season game fired up the Mets dugout. Minnesota Twins manager Rocco Baldelli in August 2022 got tossed in the game against the Houston Astros. In the 5th inning, Jose Altuve got grazed by a fastball from Aaron Sanchez, sparking a benches-clearing standoff. Baldelli talked to Sanchez, which umpires counted as a mound visit. When pitching coach Pete Mackey visited next, umpires ruled it a second visit, forcing Sanchez out. The ruling took Baldelli and the Twins by surprise too, as Minnesota didn't even have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Baldelli argued fiercely and got ejected. He, however, complained long enough to let Cole Sands warm up. There you have it, the craziest ejections in MLB. These moments show why baseball's so special. It's not just about hits and pitches, it's the passion, the fights, and the wild outbursts that make the game fun. What's your favorite ejection? Got one we missed? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more.